Now delta TF is equal to Kf into M molality. Now this equation, you know the delta TF, Kf you know. Now the molality is the number of moles of solute dissolved per kg of the solvent. And we have to find the molecular formula. So the mass of sulfur we know 'whatever the mass you have, Sx means to finding it out the number of atoms which is present in the sulfur. So let's see first we have to find it out the molecular masses of that. So delta TF value we got it 2.32, Kf 20.2 into molality. Weight upon molecular mass upon mass of solvent into 1000. This we got it here. W we got it 2.95. On this we have to calculate into mass of solvent 100 into 1000. Find it out the mass, how much mass you got it here, molecular mass. How much value it is coming? Yes, anyone? Ma'am, unmute Gaurav Lal.
256.8.
256.8. This is the molecular mass and they are asking for what? The molecular formula. So the number of atoms what we have, we will divide it 256.8 upon 32. This we will got it as 8. There is another way of finding this question with the help of I value. Alright, but they have not given how to find it out here. There is a relation between to find it out I value. So I is a matter of factor where I value is less than 1 or greater than 1, where the association or dissociation is taking place with the help of that. Now Way I was telling you the solutions PV is equal to nRT means not PV ideal gas solution that was instead of PV we have pi V is equal to nRT. In that case, when we have isotonic solution, so this is clear now. For isotonic solution, what equation we have? Mostly the board questions which they ask you is almost done. The way they ask you, what type of question they ask you, that has been done. Now, isotonic solution. What will be the equation? Now, pi V is equal to nRT. Now, isotonic solutions means two beaker having the solution they have at same osmotic pressure. The concentrations are same. So two, suppose one solutions we have their value pi 1, that will become P1 is equal to nRT. And another solution we have whose osmotic pressure is pi 2, volume V2 is equal to nRT. So isotonic solution, both the solutions pi 1 V1 nRT, pi 2 V2 nRT. Both will be equal, alright, for the isotonic solution. Now here the total osmotic pressure, what we have here, that will equal to pi 1 plus pi 2 is equal to pi. Total osmotic pressure, if we have to find for isotonic solution, means we have to find both the osmotic pressure. So here the pi will become alright. You have to use this equation for isotonic solution. So that can be modified as to pi 1 V1 n की जगह you are using RT. Alright. Now the different solutes are there. So solutes value will also be different. W2 and isotonic solution they have at same concentration. At same concentration means molar concentration are same. That is C1 is equal to C2. When they have given C1 is equal to C2, so now what we will have W1 M1 V1 that can be is equal to W2 M2 V2 for isotonic solution. And from here you can calculate the total osmotic pressure, that is pi 1 plus pi 2. All right. So this you have to do, and I think I have a question for this also. Yes, it's a good question only. 10% aqueous solution of cane sugar. You note it out this when I'm giving the question. 10% aqueous solution of cane sugar with molecular weight 342. 10% aqueous solution of cane sugar. Molecular mass they have given 342. Is isotonic. This solution is isotonic with 1.74% aqueous solution of 1.74% of aqueous solution of urea. Find the molecular mass of urea. You have to find this urea molecular mass. All right. You have to apply this formula in order to find the molecular mass of urea. Because they have mentioned here that an aqueous solution of cane sugar, molecular weight 342, which is an isotonic with 1.74% aqueous solution of urea. And you have to find it out the molecular mass, that is either you take M1 or M2, molecular mass of urea. This you have to find it out. For isotonic solution, how you have to solve it? For isotonic solution, phi 1 is equal to phi 2, C1 is equal to C2, and then this will become this also, and that formula will become this also, that is W1 M1 V1 is equal to W2 M2 V2. Now, so what if you take it as the first one as the aqueous solution? So this is 10% aqueous solution. All right. So how much it will be the W1? And we have M1 and V1. Yes. Anyone? Very fast. You have to apply this W1 upon M1 V1 is equal to W2 M2 V2. Same concentration as C1 C2. Phi 1 is equal to phi 2. So what is W here? M1 they have given for both. What will be the V1 and V2?
So is the answer 59.5?
How much? All right, let's see.
So
Now the W1,
59.5
10%
grams.
59.5. All right. I have not calculated. It must be like that only. W1 that we take it as now 10. M1 molecular mass 342 into 100. That will give you W2 1.74. Molecular mass of urea we have to calculate into 100. All right. So this we have to do it 1.75. This is 1.754. The board question only. Now M, it's easily now you can find it out. Molecular mass, and that is they have given 59.98. I think 59.98. And you know the molecular mass of urea is 60. All right. Now, then next one more question. Then we will start for this question is related to that only. I only. A 2 molar solution of sodium chloride. Two-molar solution of sodium chloride. All right. In water causes an elevation in boiling point in water causes an elevation of boiling point, that is they have given elevation of boiling point 1.88 Kelvin. What is the value of Van 't Hoff factor and what does it signify? Value of Van 't Hoff factor. What does this value signify? Cause of this value. Again, I'm repeating 2 molar, small m is there of sodium chloride in water. All right, having a elevation of boiling point 1.88. So Kb water, Kb for water, that is 0.52 they have given. First, we have to find it out Van 't Hoff factor. After getting the value, what does this value signify? And what is the cause of this value? All right, so this much we have to do it. Now, to start the Van 't Hoff factor, that is what we have, Van 't Hoff factor I, first we have to understand what is abnormal molecular masses. When we have studied about the colligative properties, so colligative properties are those properties which directly depend upon which directly depend upon the number of solute particles which is present in the solution. Nature of chemical properties, it does not depend. It means all the colligative properties is directly proportional to the number of solute particles. And this solute particles may be molecules, may be ions, molecules in case of cane sugar, urea, organic compound, or ions in case of ionic compound. The first concept should be clear that colligative properties depends upon the number of solute particles, which we have proved for four equations: lowering of vapor pressure, elevation of boiling point, depression of freezing point, and finally osmotic pressure, where we have phi V is equal to nRT. All right, where there is also the number of moles there. It means all the colligative properties that is directly proportional to the number of solute particles. And this solute particles, so I'm representing here delta, which represents colligative property, which is directly proportional to the number of solute particles. And this represents colligative properties, which is directly proportional to the number of solute particles. This we have proved so many times. Now, what we have to do it here, abnormal molecular masses. The molecular mass of a solute, when we have find it out this number of solute particles, then we have a relationship. For every colligative property, we have find it out the relationship, that is molecular mass of that solute that is inversely proportional to the number of particles of solute, or we say colligative property is directly proportional to the number of solute particles, and this mass, which is inversely proportional to the colligative property, or since colligative property is directly proportional to or number of solute particles. Now, why such a change takes place? Here we have to say this only cause of this value. All right. So Van Hoff factor and molecular masses का change, that we have to understand. Van Hoff factor said it is a ratio of observed, that is the experimental value of colligative property. He represented this as I, that is Van Hoff factor. It is a ratio of the experimental value upon the normal value of the colligative property. So in this question, they have asked you for I, and I is what formula we have: observed value of colligative property upon normal value of colligative property. All right. Observe yani experimental value upon normal value of colligative property. Everything is depend upon this solute particles. And what is number? The number of solute particles, colligative properties directly relationship पे है. Molecular masses inversely relationship पे we have find it out. Now, I is observed colligative property value, and normal, it is a ratio of normal colligative property. So why this I? Why why this I changes, why the experimental value is different from the normal value. What is happening such so that this value is changing? Why the masses are changing this? And why we call it out as abnormal molecular masses? Yes, anyone? There is a relationship between the abnormal molecular masses and Van Hoff factor. All right. They have given experimentally observed molecular mass of a substance determined on the basis of colligative properties found to be different from the normal value. Any Joe value we got it from the colligative property experimentally, and we got the value normally on the basis of colligative property is different. Why such difference takes place? That can be calculated with the help of I, that is observed upon normal value of a colligative property. So for this, we have to understand association and dissociation. दो concept है. Now, when the molecular state of solution remains unchanged in the solution, this concept is clear. All right. Now, first we go through this question. KB they have given delta TB KB into molar. So we have a relationship for that. Delta TB can be equal to I KB into M, where I is the Van Hoff factor. I is equal to delta TB upon KB into M. To delta TB, they have given 1.88 upon KB, they have given 0.52 into molar, 2 molar solution. What is the value of I? Hurry up.
9 minutes are left, sir.
All right. What is the value of I here? You all have the calculator. Just 1.88 upon 0.52. 0.52, this will become 0.104. 1.88 upon 0.10. 1.80. Here, I is greater than 1. Now, three concepts are there. I is equal to 1, I is greater than 1, and I is less than 1. So, Van Gogh factor के लिए three important part are there. I is equal to 1, I is greater than 1, and I is less than 1. Now, since I is greater than 1, so Van Gogh factor you have calculated. What does it signify? Signification since I is greater than 1. I is equal to 1, no association, no dissociation will take place. All right, we will talk about that, give reasons for that. I is greater than 1. Now, when I is greater than 1, it signifies that sodium chloride we are using. So, sodium chloride, you know, it is an ionic compound. It means I is greater than 1, it will dissociate. And if I is less than 1, it will associate. So what will be the effect on the molecular masses, on association of the molecules, on dissociation of the molecules? That can be explained on the basis of getting I value. I equal to 1. No association, dissociation greater than 1. We have dissociation less than 1. We have association. Whatever the formula we have to calculate along with that. We will put it there. So what does it signify? I greater than 1 means sodium chloride dissociate into solution. Cause of this value. What will be the cause of this value? That we will discuss in the next class.